They could be talking settlement right now. I'm not saying they are,
Sure.
right? But they could, and they don't want to try the case. So I don't think a trial is going to happen.
What's up, guys? Mickle here, and in this video, we're going to be talking about that clip right there. Are we going to see a trial in the Ripple SEC case, or is this case going to settle beforehand? And the other thing we're going to talk about is why doesn't it seem like the price of XRP cares at all about the massive win Ripple just got against the SEC? In this video, we're going to talk about both of these things, as well as talk about something going on behind the scenes right now involving BlackRock, XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. Guys, this could be the catalyst of the next bull market. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video to see that. You are not going to want to miss it. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. If you enjoy these videos, make sure to take a quick second to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's really going to help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a good place to buy some XRP or the Flare token, make sure to check out my favorite exchange, Uphold, down in the description of this video. With that said though, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So I want to start this video off and just play for you this entire clip of John Deaton on the Thinking Crypto channel. This was a really interesting interview from John Deaton, and honestly something I wasn't expecting. John Deaton has been someone who's really been on the other side of a settlement throughout this entire case. He never really thought one was going to happen, and even up until a couple weeks ago, he was still extremely pessimistic on a settlement. But ever since Judge Torres completely destroyed the SEC's attempt to appeal the Ripple SEC case, we have seen a lot of lawyers in the XRP community actually coming out and saying that they now think a settlement is actually very probable. I want to play you this clip of John Deaton and then just really break down what he's saying here. And I want to give you my opinion on whether or not I think there is going to be a settlement. Listen up to this.
They could be talking settlement right now. I'm not saying they are.
Sure.
Right. But they could, and they don't want to try the case. So I don't think a trial is going to happen.
Okay. So that's your prediction, that a trial is not going to happen.
Yeah. I don't think a trial is going to happen. They're going to lose. And do they really want all that Hinman stuff and the drama of a trial? And I mean, a trial in this case, Tony, would take a month. You know what I mean? Ripple would want to call Hinman, Valerie S., Amy Starr, Hester Peirce. I mean, I'm just naming names, right?
Oh, sure.
They might want to call John Deaton. Who knows?
Jay Clayton? Jay Clayton, maybe?
I mean, it's going to be a big, long, lengthy, very, very expensive trial. And if your chances are slim to none, why do that? Right now, if they weren't fighting Coinbase and Binance and doing all the other things, maybe it's worth it. But don't you need those resources to fight the other cases? Yeah. And so that's what I mean, is that I don't think there'll be a trial, but I could be wrong.
There we have John Deaton actually predicting that we will not go to trial in the Ripple SEC case, and it will actually settle beforehand. And I think he makes some really good points here, starting out with the fact that Ripple is going to be able to call a lot of different people to the stand to testify. Guys, regardless of what you think about the SEC, they stick very, very close together, and they really don't go back against one another, regardless of the political party. We have seen Gary Gensler time in and time out actually stand up for what Jay Clayton did at the SEC, despite the fact that they're on opposite sides of the political spectrum. We also have seen that Hester Peirce has pretty much refused to rat out Gary Gensler for his attack on the cryptocurrency industry, despite the fact that she's a massive cryptocurrency proponent. I have a feeling that the SEC is not going to want these people to actually have to testify in the Ripple SEC case. That could be a massive disaster. Think about what happened when Bill Hinman's emails were finally released to the public. It was a PR nightmare for the SEC. We were finally able to see what was going on behind the scenes, and it was an absolute disaster. The last thing the SEC is going to want to do is have all these people who are all tied up in these conflicts of interest talking in front of a jury, being interrogated publicly about what was going on at the agency. The SEC sticks close together, and I don't think anyone at the SEC today is going to want to open that can of worms. Just think about it. There's people still at the SEC today who are likely going to be called in to testify. They're not going to want to put themselves in that position. And the other thing that is so important to understand here is they have almost nothing to win. They lost on every single major issue in the Ripple SEC case, and they were not allowed to appeal it. The only thing going to trial right now is whether Brad and Chris knew they were selling a security when they were selling XRP. Obviously, they couldn't have known they were selling a security because we didn't even know until this case started what XRP was. And then it was deemed not to be a security. So what's the point of the SEC taking these charges to trial? They're not going to go anywhere except they could expose their own agency even further. Now let's talk about what they have to benefit from settling. If they were to settle, they could paint this case as a win. They could say, hey, we made Ripple pay $200 million and they admitted to selling securities to institutional investors. That would completely transform their entire cryptocurrency agenda, and they would be able to paint it as a massive win. This is something the SEC desperately needs as they go into much bigger cases. They have massive cases on their agenda right now. They're going against Binance, Coinbase, and they actually just sued Elon Musk for his purchase of X. The SEC is not going to want to have their resources tied up in this losing battle, and I think John Deaton was on the money with everything he said here. Now, I want to quickly talk about why the price of XRP really hasn't reacted to all this good news. And I was going to play you this clip of John Deaton just talking about how XRP is the only digital asset with legal clarity, but I think that pretty much summarizes it, so we're not going to get into it. But why hasn't XRP actually reacted to this news yet? Well, me personally, there's two things that I think we're missing. Number one is that this case still isn't over. A lot of very conservative institutions, a lot of big investors want this case to be completely over. One thing that I learned very interesting from when the SEC first sued Elon Musk the first time is that when Elon Musk got sued for his crazy take Tesla private at 420 tweet that was an absolute nothing burger, no one took it seriously, a lot of the major banks who were actually funding Tesla said that if he didn't settle the case with the SEC immediately, they were going to have to pull capital. What this means is that regardless of how dumb, regardless of how trivial, regardless of how many wins Ripple has already gotten in this case, institutions are not going to touch Ripple or XRP until it's over. So that's a massive incentive right there for Ripple to actually settle the case with the SEC. People always tell me all the time, why wouldn't Ripple just go the distance and win all the way? Because they don't have time on their side. They want this case over. They want their business to be able to expand into the United States. And that is not going to happen until the case is completely over. And the other thing I think we're definitely waiting on is some kind of crypto catalyst. Crypto markets right now are in their infancy. They are very young and they rely a lot on hype and emotion. And right now we just have virtually zero hype or emotion in the cryptocurrency market. We have not seen any big money flowing in. We have seen people scared. One, because of the regulatory crackdown. I think that's slowly going away as we keep getting these wins. But the other is a macroeconomic environment. But we are coming very close to something that I think could completely change the tide, and that is Bitcoin spot ETFs. Earlier today, BlackRock actually published an article where they said trillions of dollars could hit the Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP market as soon as a spot Bitcoin ETF gets approved. Now, this is very exciting to me, and one of the main reasons this is so exciting is because it says Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. This is one of the first times I have seen XRP actually being put alongside Bitcoin and Ethereum, and the reason I think that is happening is because of the regulatory clarity. These institutions are looking at this asset class in two sectors, the ones they have clarity to invest in and the ones they don't. For a long time, Bitcoin and Ethereum were the only assets they felt they had clarity to invest in, and that's why Bitcoin and Ethereum's market cap are so much larger than everything else in the industry. Right now, XRP still needs to catch up. XRP's market cap can easily go up to Bitcoin and Ethereum's once it actually has the regulatory clarity for institutions to invest in it. Now, some people are going to argue it already has that clarity, which I would agree, but we still have the case kind of outstanding, and we also have fear from institutions. We are in a high interest rate environment. We see the SEC cracking down on crypto. We see the DOJ cracking down on crypto. We see crypto companies going bankrupt left and right. These institutions are being very cautious right now. There's not a lot to be excited about as prices just keep trading sideways. But the second we have a catalyst like a Bitcoin spot ETF, I think these institutions are going to be ready to jump back in a big way. Crypto markets are very volatile. They don't go sideways forever, and when they start moving fast. These institutions know that, and it looks like they are preparing for what assets they are going to jump back into in a big way. I think once a Bitcoin spot ETF gets green lighted, these institutions are going to see a significant shift in the regulatory environment in the United States and in the excitement behind these assets. I think that's when they start flowing back into the assets that they deem have the regulatory clarity for them to invest in, and they are directly telling you what those assets are. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. I think XRP is going to benefit from this in a massive way. Not only does it have more utility than Bitcoin and Ethereum, but it has lagged behind them in the past because its clarity has been held out from under it. People have refused to give it clarity in our government. It had to fight for it. It wasn't handed it to it like Bitcoin and Ethereum. But now that we have that clarity, we have a lot of price appreciation to catch up on. And I think we're right around the corner from it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.